Hello, listen, if you're a young guy, you're a teenager, I know that probably oftentimes in the past you had the same problem, that you were feeling alone. Usually we don't admit it, but especially nowadays in 2022, a lot, a lot of people are feeling lonely, a lot of people are feeling lost. And unfortunately, instead of admitting this fact that we are feeling alone, we desperately try to quit it by getting indulged into instant gratification. We get a lot of addictions. We try to basically quit this feeling of void within ourselves. And yet we have another problem, that in some cases we desperately try to find this love of our life. We try to find the best partner, but we overlook the fact that if we put ourselves on the first place, we work on ourselves, we provide for ourselves the needs that were not satisfied when we were a child, then we become more and more complete, and we become less and less desperate, because that's the thing that is putting away from you love that you desire, is this desperation. Because if you want to attract someone, you need to be already full. And what I mean by this, you can display this desire, and it's completely natural, in order to attract anyone you want. But if you're doing this from the point of desperation, when you need this person, sooner or later this relationship will end. This person will betray you, will leave you, or other things like this. Because it's always like this, like, we cannot hide the fact that desperation is bad for our relationships, because people can sense it. And even if you're pretending, this red pill alpha, that yourself, that you don't need anyone else, that you're a lone wolf, man, people will see it, because that's our innermost need, to connect with people, to spend time with others, to be listened, to be loved, to be understood. And when you try to hide this fact by pretending to be lone wolf, this is not going to work, because we can indeed become, in some sense, lone wolf, a person that is more independent of other people. We can become totally independent of approval of others, of of this attention. But still, sooner or later you will feel a need to give yourself to others, to express yourself, to share your thoughts, your feelings about world, about yourself, about people, about world, about everything, about movies you watched. Because when we share ourselves with someone, we multiply our happiness. But when we are closed and we are surrounded by people, but we don't express ourselves, it's even worse than being totally alone, totally lonely. Because what you need to have is people that listen to you, that really, really care about you, and are not caring only about resources that you have, or not without you, because of, as I mentioned previously, desperation. So if you want to attract love and relationships, instead of chasing this desperately, first chase yourself. I know how pathetic it is, but if you will be more full, you will be aware of your needs. You will be aware of which needs were not satisfied in your childhood. You will become, let's say, your self-therapist. You will understand yourself better. You will know what you can expect from other person and what you need to provide for yourself. I hope that helped you. So change your focus. If you're a teenager, if you're a young woman or young man, and you want to desperately get this second half, focus on yourself. But as I said, discover yourself. What other person can give you, and what you need to provide for yourself. Are your expectations real, or are you just expecting someone to come as a savior and save you from all your problems or your emotional struggles? Suffering is a normal part of our life, but a lot of suffering we don't need, because we inflict this to ourselves, and some suffering we need. But the greatest form of suffering is the suffering that we give ourselves as challenge, as taking on new goals, and working on ourselves, because essentially it's suffering, because we discover how many things initially needs to be solved, and we realize some things about ourselves that we are recovering with pleasure. And when we quit this instant gratification, oh, we see a true nature of ourselves, which is not always bright, but sometimes a little bit dark. We discover that we have our bright side and we have our dark side. That's all. Thank you.